Hello everyone, it's your boy the Fantasy Football Almanac, back at it with another best ball draft video. Today we're hopping in a Best Ball Mania 3 draft. We got the second pick right now, right behind King Dingus. So there's two guys. There's literally two guys. Whoever we get. Won't be upset. Two men that we want. Both RPs, both with ceilings of gods. Jonathan Taylor comes off the board. We will take Christian McCaffrey. The ceiling, if Christian McCaffrey hits the ceiling, I mean, there's no player like him in fantasy football. He has perhaps the most points of all time between him and Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on, you can't ask for much more than that, especially at pick 2. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, absolute beast. Also getting Baker Mayfield, not a rushing QB, not somebody who's going to take away volume in the passing game for Christian McCaffrey. So either way, Christian McCaffrey definitely pick 2 here. 100%, I would say. I don't think there's any way around it. I'll get Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, and Austin Eckler. I will be announcing a giveaway at the very end of this video, or sometime in the middle. I guess you'll just have to see. So if you are interested in hearing about the giveaway, please watch this video all the way through. I think you would really enjoy it. Oh my god, this draft is crazy. I'll touch on that in a second. But please watch this video all the way through. Give this video a like, comment down below what you think of the draft, and subscribe. It would really mean the world to me. Anyways, Saquon Barkley and Joe Mixon at pick 7 and 8. Oh my god. I mean, these are players I absolutely love. I love Saquon Barkley. I love Joe Mixon with all my heart. All my heart. I think they're both two of my guys this season. Two guys I really like. Maybe I couldn't call them my guys. Maybe Saquon Barkley's my guy. But they're two guys I really like at their ADPs this season. But now, I mean, pick 7 and 8. Oh my god, that's crazy. I mean, that you're drafting at least Joe Mixon as absolute ceiling. I mean, that's Joe Mixon's ceiling 100%. Saquon Barkley's ceiling is more like pick 3, which is honestly, I mean, that's one reason why I really like Saquon Barkley. Because when you're doing best ball drafts like this, I mean, Saquon Barkley's ceiling is not even arguably higher than Jonathan Taylor's. It's 100% higher than Jonathan Taylor's. It's the same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's ceiling is higher than Jonathan Taylor's. But I will, for the most part, be taking Christian McCaffrey second, just because Jonathan Taylor's floor is so nice. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, not even arguably, Jonathan Taylor is the safest floor by far in any draft. We got Najee Harris coming off the board at pick 15. I mean, this draft is going absolutely buck wild right now. We got running backs potentially being pushed up the board, which is good that we got Christian McCaffrey because these running backs are getting absolutely pushed up. This board here, we got DeAndre Swift coming off the board at pick 16. Let's see what happens. I mean, it is possible we will end up, I don't want to say his name because I really want him, and I've seen him fall here before. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll say it. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce comes off the board at pick 17. It is possible if these tight ends are coming so low. I mean, I would absolutely love the shot at Mark Andrews. I mean, if this guy's taking Saquon Barkley at pick 7, you don't know what he's going to do at pick 18. I mean, he could really do anything. He goes Pittman, meaning we are guaranteed a slightly better player, whoever that may be. I'm really hoping for Andrews or Debo. I mean, either one would be fine. Aaron Jones at pick 19. We're 3 picks away now. There is guys we really still like on this board. Tons of guys we still really like on this board, honestly. Let me just go check out ADP. We got 2 here we really like. Leonard Fournette working hard to shed weight. Not surprising. I mean, the report, Mark Andrews does come off the board here. You know, we probably will be taking, I was going to say Tyreek Hill, but I really do like T. Higgins. Really no value you can get, but I think T. Higgins is probably the best shot here. And unless he goes Nick Chubb and Leonard Fournette, I'm fine with whoever we get at pick 26. He goes Alvin Kamara anyways, so we're chilling in that regard. So we got a second running back. I'm hoping Lenny, to be honest. Javonte, the ceiling is definitely there, but I don't really like the median outcome for Javonte Williams. I've really been kind of fading Javonte. I think that the narrative is that Javonte Williams is going to be getting all of this workload. Oh, Javonte Williams is going to be getting X amount of carries, and Melvin Gordon's basically just going to be an afterthought. We've thought that about the Broncos offense for years. I mean, Phillip Lindsay versus Royce Freeman. Everybody was pounding the drums saying, we want to get Phillip Lindsay the ball. We want to get him the ball. But it just didn't happen. It's the same regime. And then last year, Javonte Williams was actually outsnapped by Melvin Gordon on a per game basis. Melvin Gordon missed a game and still finished. I think it was either with one less or one more total run than Javonte Williams. I mean, I just don't understand all the Javonte Williams love. Obviously, if Melvin Gordon goes down, Javonte becomes an absolute workhorse and is honestly would probably be drafted around where Derrick Henry got drafted right now. Something like that. I mean, the upside is absolutely insane, especially when you have Russell Wilson throwing you the ball. I mean, upside is clearly there. But I feel like him being able to hit his upside is very few and far between. I mean, how often is Javonte Williams going to hit his upside? It takes a Melvin Gordon injury, which is possible. But running a workload like that, where you're giving it a 50-50 shot that Javonte Williams or Melvin Gordon's going to be injured, I just don't really like it. We got Breece Hall coming off the board at pick 31. Saquon Barkley, Michael Pittman, and Breece Hall. Probably could have gotten Breece Hall at pick 42. Probably could have gotten Saquon Barkley at pick 18. Probably could have gotten Michael Pittman at pick 31. So here we have reach for Fanster. I'm a fan of Saquon Barkley reach, but all these other reaches, I mean, I just can't get behind. Although, in general, I'm not a fan of reaching in a format like this. Here we are kind of hoping for Jerry Jeudy. I mean, I know he's a very classic guy to take at pick 47. This has been a very, very standard pick 2 draft. I mean, if you look up the pick 2 draft in the dictionary, this team comes up. Chris McCaffrey, T. Higgins, Leonard Fournette. But I'm not mad about it. I think it's a good team. We got Mike Williams and Kyle Pitts. I'm good at taking no value here. I mean, honestly. We got James Conner coming off the board. It would have been nice to have really drafted like here, like a pick 9, where this guy just is giving us so much value. That these two guys are bleeding value. And actually not really, just the Joe Mixon pick, which isn't even really that bad. We got Marquise at 36, which I really like. I think Hollywood's a really, really good pick. Even at this pick, I think he's a value, honestly. It is fair. The one knock on him is that he will, once DeAndre Hopkins comes back, he probably will be getting less target share. Which is fair. I mean, definitely. But he'll still be easily the wide receiver 2 in that offense. He could even be the wide receiver 1, honestly. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins did not look like 100% himself last season. Whether that be due to he was playing through an injury, I mean, we can never really know. But through 10 games, he had, 550 yards? I mean, that's good, but it's not the D-Hop you expect. I think he's getting older. I mean, every single year, adds wear and tear on his body. It's like a Julio Jones situation where Julio Jones 2 years ago, he was being drafted in the first round. I mean, a very talented wide receiver, and then the injuries start adding up a little bit. He gets his first real major injury, and then comes back the next year and was absolutely trash. Granted, I mean, you're switching teams, everything like that, but we got Jalen Waddle coming off the board at pick 38. Wow, Travis Etienne's still on the board. Cam Akers on the board. Deontay. There's a lot of guys here that I think are still really good that I like. Especially with these Breece Hall reaches. I mean, it is possible that value could end up falling to us. I have a feeling Fanster's going to go Cam Akers here, though. Because they did reach on Breece Hall, so he probably is looking for the combo effect. That's my guess. Travis Etienne coming off the board all the way at pick 41, though. I mean, this team is really good, honestly. I'm not going to lie, the Joe Mixon team. I like it a lot. I think it's a really good team. Granted, a lot of value did fall to him with Kelsey and Keenan, but what can you do? You know, sometimes you gotta get lucky. That's what it is. No really value fell to us here, which is fine. I mean, you can't really ask for it every time. I'm hoping for Cam Akers, honestly. Even though we do have 2 running backs already, I mean, Cam Akers, honestly, could project like off the charts this year, in my opinion. So I think we're gonna go with him. Jerry Jeudy gets sniped too, making it even way more likely that we'll go Cam Akers here. Cam Akers is who I wanted, like, pretty badly here. I would have liked Jerry Jeudy at pick 50. I mean, that would have been more than fun. But here we probably will go Kittle or Herbert. Depending on if one of them makes it back to us, or there's potential neither will make it back to us, but I do like the Herbert value here. I'd probably prefer Kittle, though. All things considered. This running back room is actually insane too. I mean, it's a really, really strong running back room. We don't need to hit running backs for the rest of the draft. I really like taking George Kittle. He's one of the few running backs I like taking at their ADPs now, besides Mark Andrews. I really can't get behind taking Kelsey. Even though target share, I mean, is absolutely opening up for Kelsey here. But so is Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews is going pretty much a half a round, a full round later at some points. And then George Kittle is so talented. I mean, the problem with George Kittle has always been, he gets injured. What NFL player hasn't? I mean, that's really my philosophy. Most NFL players, they get injured. That's what happens. You play in the NFL, you're going to probably get injured. But George Kittle's ceiling is absolutely insane. I mean, we saw what he did. He had 1,377 yards in 2019 or 2018. I forget which one it was, but that was only a couple of years ago. It's not like he's that much older now. I mean, he's 28, 29, something like that. Maybe he's 30, but even still, I mean, these tight ends, they survive a lot longer than any other position. Travis Kelce's 32. Zach Ertz is 31 and still alive somehow. We got Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert coming off the board. I do like the pick of George Kittle here. I mean, I think it is pretty good. We haven't really gotten any value whatsoever thus far. But I think George Kittle is kind of being undervalued in general. And here, we pretty much have running backs done for this draft. We just got to hope no running back value falls to us. I don't want to see a single running back. I want David Montgomery off this. David Montgomery's still on the board, by the way. Not anymore. David Montgomery, guy, I think he's kind of like a gross name, but I think he's being pretty slept on thus far. I mean, he was running back 4 2 years ago. Absolutely shitty offense, but he's going to be getting most of the touches and all the targets in that offense. It'll be a shitty offense, but if you're a workhorse, no matter what, you're going to be putting up fantasy points. That's why I like Cam Akers a lot, too. Cam Akers in a much better offense. Hopefully will get a little bit of receiving work at least. I mean, no matter what, Cam Akers is not going to finish where he's being drafted. Either he'll finish as a top 10 running back, or he'll absolutely flop coming off the Achilles injury. But I think coming back from the Achilles injury at all is a testament to how much I like Cam Akers this year, and how much Cam Akers' strength, and how much the coaching staff really likes Cam Akers this year. I'm on Ross and Brown at pick 60. Absolutely flying up boards. Kyler Murray at 59. Kyler Murray at 59 is pretty interesting to me. I mean, it's about where he goes most of the time. But I think Kyler Murray definitely has the potential to be a really strong fantasy option with his rushing upside. And just the way he plays, I mean, I think he's got a very good situation for him now with Marquise Hollywood-Brown there as well. And once D-Hop comes back, I mean, that offense is going to be pretty dang good. James Conner, well, he's not the most efficient running back. Definitely gets it done. Look at the Kyler Murray D-Hop stack, too, which I think is pretty interesting. Because usually D-Hop's going around pick 78, 77. I think that's where his ADP is. Not exactly sure. But it is smart to get that stack, because not a lot of people are going to have that stack. But if you do have that stack, most likely you picked Kyler at 59. Or Kyler somehow fell to you at 65. And then you were able to get D-Hop to fall to you at pick 80. That's why I'm a little worried about reaching on players like that. Like Kyler Murray there and D-Hop. Well, it's great. There are people with better combinations than you, because most of those people who have Kyler Murray and D-Hop are probably taking them at 62 and 83 or 65 and 80. Are pairing them up based on luck, based on people not liking the players as much. Whereas when you reach on them, it is a little tougher to get that value. And I mean, it does make sense, I guess, from a unique team combination perspective. And their Week 17 upside is pretty high. Kyler Murray and D-Hop's, that is. We got Joe Burrow coming off the board. It is surprising to me. Trey Lance off the board as well. It is surprising to me. There is a name on the board. Well, I haven't seen him go off yet. He's a quarterback. Eagles quarterback. Who will be running the ball quite a lot. And he's still on the board, I mean. If I'm talking haven't gotten value yet, if this happens, this is value on value on value. This guy's taking 5 wide receivers, by the way. That's crazy to me. I just noticed that. Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy, A.J. Brown. And we get Jalen Hurts. Pick 71. I'm ecstatic right now. Oh, my God. And then here, I'm hoping for Russell Gage, personally. Russell Gage would be sick. Dalton Schultz would be nice, too. Although Dalton Schultz and George Kittle have the same buy. I've made that mistake before. But then you just don't have to worry about wide receivers for the entire rest of the draft. I probably will go Russell Gage here, though. Now we have a really well-rounded team, too. I mean, as long as I can get Russell Gage, which I'm not sure I will. King Dingus may snipe. And I don't like either of these two wide receivers here. In this case, I'd probably go Gibson or Schultz. if he does snipe me on Russell Gage, which is possible. I mean, it definitely is possible. Or maybe Lazard, too. Lazard could be an interesting pick. The Lizard King. He goes Gibson. We're going to take Russell Gage here just because we do need a wide receiver, too. And it is possible Gibson misses a fairly substantial amount of time. I mean, we saw how effective AB was in that offense when he played as the wide receiver 3. I don't think Russell Gage is nearly the talent AB is. That's not what I'm saying. But it is possible Russell Gage does end up taking a pretty substantial workload in that offense, especially with Chris Godwin out. And if he does cement himself and Tom Brady really likes him as a wide receiver play, I mean, he could be a good wide receiver 3 if he's on the field every down. Especially because, I mean, who is their tight end? We got Cameron Brate, who I like to draft if it's the last pick in the draft sometimes. But, I mean, he's not all that special. And Gronk is not coming back, most likely. They picked up Kyle Rudolph, but what is that going to take away? 3, maybe 4 touchdowns from Tom Brady's 35 the whole season? I can't really see the path to too much success for any of those tight ends, aside from random boom spike weeks. That's why I do like Cameron Brate, I guess. But aside from those random boom spike weeks, I'd say Russell Gage is an absolute move. Then we got Lazard, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith. Alan Lazard's probably going to keep crawling up these boards like a lizard because he is the lizard man. We got Russell Wilson coming off the board too, so it is good we picked Jalen Hurts up. And maybe we wait at 95 and try and get a Stafford or something like that, so we can pair up Cam Akers. But pretty much now oh my god, Dalton Schultz all the way to pick 82. Wow. That's absolutely crazy. This guy, Golf for Life, is having a pretty excellent draft. I mean, I probably would have taken Hollywood over Mike Williams. But you do you. I mean, that's not bad. I really picked, though, something I really like. I don't really love the Terry McLaurin pick, but he's gotten value everywhere else. Golf for Life, he did a really good job. We got Dak Prescott coming off the board, too. Golf for Life was probably hoping to pair up Dak and Dalton. Sir Bag Chaser, highly experienced drafter, taking Kadarius Toney, and then Tom Brady. Tom Brady would have been nice if, getting the Russell Gage and Tom Brady pairing. Doesn't happen today. It's okay. Ooh, there's some really intriguing names. There's a lot of running backs on this board right now that I like a lot. Which is one reason why I think I should maybe be waiting a little longer to take backs. But I think Leonard Fournette is better than any of those running backs you take. Like A.J. Brown. Those type of backs. I think A.J. Brown is so talented, but I just can't see the volume really getting to him. Olave would be really intriguing as well. I mean, there's 3 guys here I think that separate themselves from the pack for me right now. Jacoby Man takes T.J. Hawkinson. A little disappointing. What is this rider? He's got Kyle Pitts and T.J. Hawk. I think Olave comes off the board. Sky Moore. I don't know any Valdez Scantling shares. I actually own none. I think at least. I very rarely take him. I think he is somewhat intriguing, but I just don't really understand it. I mean, probably have a couple of crazy touchdowns sometime this year, but I can't justify taking him. I don't really know. There's a few guys that I like here. I mean, we have Jalen Hurts, so we really can afford to wait and not have to take Stafford. I was kind of eyeing up Damian Harris, to be honest. But I think here we are most likely, unless Arquine snipes us, or Arquinon. He may snipe us, honestly. I've seen Chase Edmonds be climbing up these boards. It is possible Rashad Penny is off the board as well. I like all 3 of these guys. All 3 of these guys are pretty nice options at the running back position. But I do think I like Chase Edmonds the most out of these 3. Because Chase Edmonds is pretty much guaranteed that starting role in one of the best offenses. And he's such a good receiving back, too. He operates as one of the best receiving backs. I think Matt Stafford probably is the pick here. And then if not, Valdez probably. Stafford comes off the board. Valdez comes off the board too. That would be unfortunate. He gets Aaron Rodgers here. So we'll go Valdez. I mean, I'm not too huge of a Valdez fan, but an 8-pick value, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to take him there. Although I don't love it. That's interesting. If you guys have made it this far, though, please go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. And now I think it is time to announce the giveaway. Alright, so I'm doing a giveaway. Go down, comment #bestball. You can go on all my videos for extra entries. You go down, comment #bestball on 25 of my videos. That's 25 entries into a contest. The contest is to win $50 to Underdog Fantasy. And if you do win, you get a chance to win $2 million on Underdog. All you gotta do, comment #bestball, comment each time for more entries, subscribe to the channel, and you will be totally entered to win. And you get to enjoy this great fantasy best ball content. Learn a lot about fantasy, learn about how to crush your draft, beat all your friends, make them cry, make it so it's not close. That's really what it comes down to. But here, we got Cordarrelle Patterson, all the way to Ken Walker. A lot of backs coming off the board. So it's pretty good that we took Chase Edmonds, making sure that we are able to secure a good running back. And the thing with Valdez-Scantling is that he will be catching a lot of these deep ball passes, which is good. I mean, that's what you want. You want these deep ball guys who may not be able to get a ton of points, but when they do, they're going to absolutely explode for a 40-yard bomb. Things like that. I mean, that's really the goal with these best ball teams, taking guys in late rounds. Like Tyler Lockett's the same thing, although I really disagree with drafting Tyler Lockett altogether. I think it's a dumb pick. I think DK Metcalf's not smart either. I mean, Drew Lock is so bad. He hasn't proven anything as an NFL starter to this point. At least with Treylon Burks, I mean, he fits the A.J. Brown mold. His NFL comp in the draft was literally A.J. Brown. And Ryan Tannehill's at least a better quarterback than Drew Lock at this point. I mean, maybe Drew Lock turns it around, but there's no evidence that he can thus far. So I don't know. We've got a good quarterback and a good tight end, though. I feel really confident with this team we put together. I like it a lot, honestly. I think it's really interesting. It's really, really balanced, which I like. Our wide receivers are definitely not that good. Our wide receivers are pretty ass, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. But everything else about this team is really strong. I mean, we have at least above average tight ends. We have above average or at least not under average quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is at least an average fantasy. I mean, he finished quarterback 6 last year on a points per game basis. And he's only going to get better with the addition of A.J. Brown. I don't understand. I don't understand why. I guess Jalen Hurts is kind of going in his peak pretty much right now. I mean, who else could he really go above? But I would gladly take him anywhere. I think he's such a good pick. We got Tyler Lockett. We got James Cook. There's one guy we hope for in this range. You all know his name. I'm not going to have to say it. Everyone who's been subscribed to the channel for a minute now knows exactly who we're going with. I think the best pick in this range by far. I will get him on every team if I can. Probably have him in like half of all leagues I draft. I'll star him up right now so you can see him extra nice. It is my boy. I'm surprised Michael Gallup's falling so far, though. It is a little surprising. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this range right now that are still on the board. We are 4 picks away now. I could see the argument for taking somebody like Zach Ertz, too. I mean, I think Zach Ertz will probably be off the board by the time I go. Garrett Wilson comes off the board. Kid named Jimmy is up. I think it's nice, too, with this man right here, that he was put on the pup list, even though it was for like a minor reason. It has lowered his draft stock just a little bit more. Did scare me at first in the draft. I'm not sure if you guys saw that video, but it did scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Now though, I mean, it is a lot better. I'm hoping now that I know it's probably gonna be nothing serious. There really wasn't any reason given. Irv Smith off the board. Wow, I was kind of hoping to get him at pick 122. Doesn't happen though. We got our Queen on up. He takes Rashad White. We're taking Christian Watson, our boy, our guy, right here, right now. And then I'm not sure who to take with this next pick. I'm thinking Zach Ertz will be a good pick. I don't really like taking Tim Patrick, but his floor is nice. I mean, floor is really nice, honestly. Zach Ertz, I don't know. I think Zach Ertz is probably a good pick, but he's worse than best ball. I might wait around. I mean, especially if Zach Ertz is falling this far. I think tight ends could continue to fall. It is at least possible. We may go Gallup here. I think Gallup could be the right pick. Although he's going to miss a portion of the season. Week 1 status 3D. He's set to pretty much almost be guaranteed their wide receiver 2. And again, this is best ball. If he misses the first 4 weeks, it's okay. I don't really mind. So we'll take Gallup here. I actually really like this team. I mean, our wide receivers are pretty below average, but our running backs are insane. Our quarterback is nice, and our tight end is nice. I really like this team a lot. Now I'm hoping for pick 143 and 146. I'm hoping to get a guy like Freiermuth, a Komet, like a Gesicki. Any of those three guys I would really be fine with. Because now after this extra Gallup, I think there is a pretty big drop-off in terms of wide receiver talent. J-Mo's obviously great, but he's most likely missing too much time for me to really consider him at where he's going. I like him if he falls, and sometimes he does, because he does have that injury risk. A lot of people do like to stay away. I think he's got a nice flashy name and could take over the offense, but I mean, at the same time, if you're coming off an injury like that, you're probably not going to be playing for at least the first 6 weeks of the NFL season. And then you're coming in as a rookie, behind on training camp and everything, because you're missing the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, it just stinks. We got Zach Ertz and Freiermuth coming off the board, back-to-back tight ends. It's a little scary, but everybody else in this draft, except for a Sir, a Bag Chaser, and Killabees, Wu-Tang Killabees, do have their tight ends. So it is possible. I think one of them, at least one of them, will most likely go with the tight end here, whether it be Gesicki or Komet. We got Justin Fields and Tua coming off the board. This does feel a tiny bit early for them. I guess these quarterbacks are getting pushed up. Yeah, with the Aaron Rodgers pick, Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr both getting pushed up here. Sir Bag Chaser, it looks like he has 3 QBs. Tom Brady and Kyler Murray. See, this guy's highly experienced in drafting 3 QBs. Maybe there's some strategy where 3 QBs is the move, but I can't foresee it. I think getting an extra roster spot to explode at the wide receiver position is probably better. As long as you can get 2 relatively really good QBs. 2 top 12 guys, I would say. Tim Patrick comes off the board. It is possible one of these 2 picks is Gesicki or Komet, whoever that may be. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and find out. But I do really like this draft. Let me know what you guys think. It is Komet. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Let me know if you guys think this is a good draft, bad draft, a little risky. Let me know what you guys think. I am pretty interested to hear, what exactly you guys think about, what kind of strategy you're going in with this year, what picks you like the best, anything. Just go down in the comments below. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. This guy's taking an awful long time. Wu-Tang Killer Beast, man. He takes Cole Komet, though. Cole Komet walking into pretty much guaranteed volume. I mean, that's really the only philosophy taking Cole Komet here. I don't know how good of a tight end he's about to be, but I know for sure he's getting tons and tons of volume this year. And I mean, what more can you ask for, if he's getting volume on volume, I think that's great. I mean, honestly, what more can you ask for than guaranteed volume at a position of tight end when you're picking at 132? Here I'm most likely eyeing up Van Jeff. There is a lot of wide receivers on the board, though, that I really like. I'm surprised. Wow, Ronald Jones. Falling all the way to pick 136. It does come off the board. We are 6 picks away. There's a lot of really good wide receivers we like here. There's obviously Gesicki. There's Joshua Palmer here as well. Van Jeff. I think I might be taking Van Jeff over all of these guys, to be honest. I really, really like the value on Van Jeff this year, even though I'm a little concerned that King Dingus may snipe us on Van Jeff. I think Gesicki's got to be the pick because he doesn't have a tight end. And whether or not he knows to get the Stafford stack, I do not know, so I have to take the risk. There's tons of other wide receivers I still like here a lot, so I can't be too mad. We got Robbie Anderson coming off the board. Kid named Jimmy is up. He's got 7 wide receivers. That's crazy to me. And it makes sense. He can kind of afford to get JMO here because he has 6 other really talented wide receivers. Gesicki comes off the board, unfortunately. Ripping our hearts in 2. Here I most likely will now go with Van Jefferson. I think it's probably the right pick to make. We most likely will be going with 4 running backs because these 4 running backs are so stacked. Try and really build up an advantage because we don't really have too many great wide receivers. I'm going to go Van Jeff here just because I think it's more likely that he takes Van Jeff due to the fact that he took Stafford for the combination. I would assume at least. He goes Hunter Henry. Meaning it would have been smart to have taken Gesicki here, but I really just don't like taking it. And he takes no Fant, too. Okay, so it was really smart taking Gesicki. I'm going to go with Joshua Palmer as well. Potentially a first stringer, and in that offense, that's all you could ask for. Especially if he catches some deep balls. I mean, come on. So now we have one quarterback, 4 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 1 tight end. A pretty interesting build. We got a lot of wide receivers. We really only need 1 or 2 more left for the rest of the draft. We've taken 4 straight. We've actually taken 5 straight here, which is pretty nice, honestly, considering I think the reason we can do that is because we have a good tight end and we have a good quarterback, so we really can't afford to wait a lot longer on positions like that. Like I will probably end up waiting at tight end until Hayden Hurst, most likely. I think that's probably the right idea. And then a quarterback, I think you all know who I'm eyeing up. I'm going to try and get Deshaun Watson. I might double up at quarterback here, pick 167 and 170, especially if Deshaun Watson is available. I just check his ADP. His ADP is right around there, so hopefully Daniel Jones does go off the board. Somebody else kind of hoping for, but it's to be expected. His ADP is kind of around where we are right now. Jameis, I don't really want. I'm just concerned with the volume. I mean, they're not a high-octane offense in terms of passing volume. Jameis doesn't really run. There really is no other QB I want around here, honestly. Once you get to these quarterbacks, it's just all ass. Maybe Baker, but Baker's not a guy who runs. You really do need a guy who runs or is going to be a very, very efficient passer. I don't think there's any other quarterbacks you really can eye up in this range, personally. We got KJ Osborne, Nico Collins sliding up the board. I feel so bad about that John Mechie situation. We got Jarvis Landry, KJ Osborne. A lot of different things going on right now. Jarvis Landry, KJ Osborne coming off the board. We got Tyrion Davis-Price, James Robinson. Very, very surprising. Our boy, our man, Tyler Algier. Guy's been climbing up draft boards. Still on the board somehow. If he does make it to 167, we have to take him. I say this a lot and get sniped a lot. 1 in every 10 times or 1 in every 15 times. It does happen. Value does fall to us, and you gotta be ready when it does. You gotta be ready to capture this value. Tyler Algier. And Devontae Parker's still on the board too. Wow, that's very surprising. Very, very surprising. So it is good that we end up taking, because I think a lot of these wide receivers are starting to come off the board. These wide receivers are maybe getting, Jarvis came off the board about 20 picks late, but a lot of these wide receivers I'm thinking are starting to get pushed up. Because once you start looking at the Gus Edwards, the Kenneth Gainwells, the Khalil Herberts, there's really no happiness to taking guys like that. Whereas at least with Devontae Parker, you can hope for him to get a start. A lot of other guys, it's just like Khalil Herbert, the only hope you have is an injury. I mean, that's it. There's no other possible way for him to start. We get Kenneth Gainwell off the board. It's their bag chaser. What's his team looking like? He's got 3 QBs. Pretty interesting. His running back situation also really interesting. I understand buying into Melvin Gordon because, his potential, he does get the same exact workload as Javonte Williams. It is certainly possible. And for him to be this low at 110, you are getting some decent value. I personally don't like it. I really don't like taking committees. I don't know if you've noticed, but I hate buying into any sort of committee. If there's potential for a committee, I honestly just avoid it. Because the main thing that affects fantasy running backs is workload. I could pretty much care less about talent. Talent does matter, but I could pretty much care less about getting talented running backs. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Unless you're talking about like a Saquon Barkley level talent, a Christian McCaffrey level talent. Once you're past the first or second round, I guess the second round really, it's all about workload. We get a kid named Jimmy. Tyler Algier is in a position to potentially get tons of workload. Sean Watson comes off the board. Actually, heartbreaking for us, I'm not going to lie. Actually, really, I'm pretty pissed about that. Fuck. Now, as long as Tyler Algier makes it back to us, I know it's a 17-pick ADP difference, and I was hyping him up for a while now. He may go to our queen. Because our queen does not have great running backs, but our queen goes Gus Edwards. We're going Tyler Algier. Maybe we get our last wide receiver. Honestly, we might even be able to afford to get 2 more here. Who the heck else can we go, though? I mean, Paris Campbell, maybe, I would think. We probably will go Paris Campbell here. Even though it is a reach, I'll celebrate a little bit. We got the Tyler Algier at such a discount that I'll celebrate a little bit with the Paris Campbell reach. And then we don't need any other running backs. We got Algier. Wow, we don't need any other wide receivers. Although one more would be nice because we really don't have anybody that's like really that great. I mean, obviously, I'm huge on Christian Watson, the potential in that offense. I'm huge on Van Jefferson, Paris Campbell. I'm huge on a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are my guys, aside from Scantling. And I guess Gage came to us at a value, but I'm not mad about it. But other than T. Higgins, we really have no stability at wide receiver. We have no guys that I feel really confident in on a week-to-week basis I would throw in a redraft league. In best ball, it's a bit different. You can kind of reach on these values, but you're going to reach and just hope that a few weeks they fill in the holes that are provided. But you do kind of need a couple of those guys. Even T. Higgins is a little unreliable. I mean, he'll have weeks where he pops off, gets 40. But other times, it's a Jamar Chase week. It's really hard to predict. I really don't. This wide receiver room is not great, but everything else about this team is. His running backs are absolutely phenomenal. I will provide us some stability, countering our wide receiver room, even though we do have 8 wide receivers. And now we just need quarterback and a tight end. That's really what it comes down to. Get a quarterback, get a tight end. Hopefully, actually, I would really like Hayden Hurst. I think Hayden Hurst is walking into some decent volume. I mean, that's really all you're looking for here. C.J. Uzomah was not really a startable tight end last year in fantasy. I don't really think Hayden Hurst is going to be startable. But at this point, we're getting into a range where startable doesn't really matter. At this point, I'm just looking for him to fill in for George Kittle on the week. George Kittle doesn't really do too well. Maybe have a spike week or two here or there, which Hayden Hurst can definitely have. Anyone in this offense can have. C.J. Uzomah certainly had his fair share of spike weeks, and that's really what I'm looking for. That's why I do like the value on Hayden Hurst. George Pickens and Ryan Tannehill coming off the board. And then I'm not really too sure, honestly, what to do with my last. Probably with my last pick, I will most likely end up going with one of these 2 guys. I think this is probably the option here. We either go with Baker Mayfield or Wentz. We don't really have any pairings that we could pair up with either of them. But either way, I'm fine with it. Hopefully, we get Hayden Hurst. And then probably KJ Hamler. Cameron Brate coming off the board. It's possible we get sniped, though. I mean, maybe I do go Hayden Hurst, KJ Hamler, and then just really hope Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz comes back to me, because it is certainly possible. Not everybody likes to go QB in the last round. And if Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz are the 2 best quarterbacks available, and I only have 1 quarterback, that means a lot of people probably took 3. A fair amount of people definitely took 3. So I'm imagining I could potentially get Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz the next round. Donovan Peoples-Jones coming off the board, pick 185. It's definitely interesting to see. Austin Hooper coming off the board, a little scary for us. We're in a position where it is a tiny bit scary. But overall, what do you guys think of this team? Please let me know down in the comments below. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, enter into the giveaway with #bestball down below for a chance to win $50 and potentially go on to win $2 million. If you end up drafting a God-tier team, which I'm sure you guys will. You guys are watching the Fantasy Football Almanac. I mean, come on, you're definitely going to be drafting a God-tier team. But either way, thank you guys so much. I really hope you guys do like the content. I really hope you guys can go down in the comments below and let me know what you guys would like to see from me in the future. Kid named Jimmy, drafted Mark Ingram. We're going to make our 2 picks and then skedaddle. Take, hopefully, Hayden Hurst and KJ Hamler. Once we get sniped on Hayden Hurst here, this guy does have 2 tight ends, though. He goes Raheem Mostert. We're taking Hayden Hurst. And then KJ Hamler, most likely. Either that or Devin Duvernay. Either one. You can't really go too wrong here. Can't be too mad. But I think KJ Hamler's nice because, again, he's a guy who will probably be getting the deep ball a fair amount. That's good enough for me. That's really is good enough for me. But anyways, I'll let you guys know who I take in the description below, whether it be Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Mitch Trubisky, any of those guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys have a great night.